I wanted to do this video basically on something divested zealot talked about. Now I understand she was trying to talk about black men and their deviancies and things of that nature and how they are inclined to mess up relationships, like be in an incestuous relationship, for example. That's what she was talking about. But what I wanted to talk about was something else they kind of expanded on. So they were saying that they have said in the past, or one of the black women there said in the past, that she didn't date black men specifically because of the whole thing where you could accidentally date someone who is related to you. And in her town, I guess she was related to a lot of the black people in her area. And so that was one of her excuses she gave for why she didn't date black men. And, honestly, I heard someone else say this in the past, where they would say that they wouldn't date black women because they felt like as too many people were related to them, so it was just better to go with white people. I wanted to share something. And now, technically, here's the thing. I am one of those people who, I would have thought that might have been a good way to discern if someone was related to you or not. But ever since I took Ancestry DNA, I realized, technically the people you think are your family are actually not always your family. Or they might be your family, but people you're related to and they're supposed to be related to they are not related to, basically. You see, the way we inherit DNA is random. So I can randomly inherit something from someone, one of my parents, and I could have a sibling who randomly inherits that same heritage, but it could actually inherit something totally different from the same father and same mother, And the reason this is because it's randomly inherited. So you might be related to your great grandmother's great grandfather still, because that shit is still going strong. So then you got some cousins who you're not supposed to be related to at all, but they're still walking around carrying your DNA, and enough where they're like your third cousin. So to me, I mean, like when people talk about like cousin marrying at this point, to me I'm like, I honestly don't care too much. I pay attention to Ancestry DNA to the point where, like, okay, if people come from this area, specifically Louisiana, I do not want to be involved with anyone from the state of Louisiana at all. Just done. Because it was like so many people that I should not have been related to. The other people in the family on that side were not related to, but I was related to, and they were third or fourth cousins. I had like 500 matches of these people. And you understand that many people do not take Ancestry DNA. Yet there were 500 people who already were tested, and they tested as my third, fourth cousin, somewhere around there. And, from my perspective, it's just like, if you want to avoid being with your cousins, maybe you should know more about your heritage than just say your grandparents or your great-grandparents, because that might not be enough. Because, like I said, you can still get the same heritage from generations before if it keeps going in your family line, basically. Like my 16th chromosome is got, for example, many of those people that I'm not supposed to be related to, they're related to mostly my 16th chromosome. Sometimes it's the 13th chromosome too, but the similar DNA is on the 16th chromosome. And these people are not black, by the way. They're white. So, I mean, like, and I guess that's not too shocking considering it is my 16th chromosome. My 16th chromosome, if anyone doesn't know, is the one that's half and half, white and black. basically. It's like around 50s. Sometimes it says 45, depending on the DNA test. But basically, it's around that percentage. And, those people, are related to that chromosome. So you can tell that basically I inherited from my father, who inherited from his mother, who inherited from her mother, basically the similar genes that just got passed down over and over and over and over and over again, basically. When you would think that they would have died off by now, but no, they didn't. So to me, that's why I'm just saying, cousin marrying is much more complicated than just trying to figure out who the great-grandparents are, because it could be your great-grandparents' great-great-grandfather, because that's how we're related. It was back in the 1800s, and we're still basically having the same DNA. So I just wanted to point that out there, what she was saying about cousin marrying, because I'm like, I think a lot of people don't pay attention to that. And I've actually seen situations where a couple is related to me, and it's a couple. Both of them are related to me.